Hi, welcome to Colleagues Getting Coffee. My name is Annelies James, and today I am joined by Sally Thompson, CEO of Launch International and former CEO of Business South. Hi Annelies, thanks for inviting me here today to share your chat. Yay, thank you so much for joining me. Amazing. So, you were the CEO of Business South for 11 years. It's a long time. But how did that all start? What happened?
Well, I'm never quite sure how I got into that role, to be quite honest, but my career has gone from beer to boats to business. So
that's amazing.
I know. So I spent nearly 10 years in the brewing industry,
which
is absolutely fantastic, great fun, but it was like my apprenticeship.
Okay.
So I learned about sales, marketing, business development, hospitality, events, and relationship building.
Okay.
And it was a great industry.
Well,
to be in.
What a great industry.
It was a great industry.
Did you get freebies?
We did.
Oh, nice.
Quite a few, which was great fun, actually, back in the day.
Yeah.
I think it's changed a lot, but it was great fun, and it gave me my grounding for business and for people in many ways, I think. And after that, I got into the marine industry, so I say boats. I didn't really know much about boats, to be quite honest, but I got into the marine industry and saw the need to bring companies and organisations together so that they could do more. And because I'd come out of a corporate environment with Courage Brewing and Graham Met, I suppose running a small business from scratch, you had to do everything yourself, every single thing yourself. And I got involved in a composite manufacturing company.
God, what is that?
Exactly, what is that? So I had to learn a lot very quickly.
Yeah.
But I went and talked to a lot of the other companies in Cowes and on the island, and I got it in my head that we could do more together by working together, by working in more collaboration. So my pitch to them really was, should we set up a virtual shipyard?
Okay.
And they probably thought I was crazy. What is this woman saying?
Who is this woman?
But I think the idea was behind that. We could do more together. So actually, although some of these companies might think they're competing, it was more about how do we cooperate, co-opetition, a mixture between cooperation and competition.
Oh, I like it.
Doing more together.
Competition.
Doing more together.
I love it.
And so on a small island where actually, Cowes is a centre of excellence for yachting, but why couldn't it be known for that, for its yacht building as well, and its boat building, manufacturing? So I had an idea really around how might we share staff and skills for projects where there's peaks, to iron out the peaks and troughs. How might we share facilities, equipment, space, and how might we bid together for projects to grow market share? Stronger together, and also how might we create more awareness outside, by pooling our resources and co-promoting the strengths together, we could really create quite an impact. So I think collaboration is really important. Did that lead into Business South then? Yeah, I think I would not have got the role at Business South had I not had that background in beer and boats. So I think really that took me on a journey, so that when the opportunity came to develop Business Southampton as it first was, having that background in the marine industry on the island really helped with that, because it is about overcoming those barriers and challenges to cooperate and do more. And you made some massive impact, didn't you, at Business South as well? It wasn't me making the impact. Well, I don't like to think. I think it's like the team, and you're leading outside your authority. And I ended up in a privileged position trying to turn a regional city on its head in terms of its messaging and how it's perceived, and also how it's developed. And I think that the business leaders felt that there was that Southampton wasn't punching its weight as a regional business centre at the time, and that it needed stronger messaging, and it needed a blueprint for the city to attract more investment, growth and jobs. And so because we had the model of the Champion programme then, which could bring business leaders together, we held a Chatham House workshop with Dawn Baxendale, who'd come to the city then to lead economic development and really got what we were saying around this, and some of her team, together with the business leaders from the construction and property sector, and we had a workshop to discuss this blueprint and what was needed for the city, and the challenges that the business community were facing because there wasn't one, basically. And from that workshop, it was unanimous that the private sector really wanted a master plan for Southampton. So on that basis, we put a business case together, and we had the evidence base of why the plan was needed. And with that collective influence of all the business leaders, we were able to approach the political leader of the council at the time and persuade him to commission a master plan for Southampton, which then the City Council took forward with the support and engagement of the business community, which hadn't been there before.
Which is amazing.
I think it was a really good model, and it shows championing your place is so important, and it's really important that business leaders get behind that from all the sectors, so it can make a difference to a city, to a region, to an economy.
It's all about the bigger picture. It's not about in isolation. And I think any businesses that I've worked with or been aware of who collaborate are really, really much more successful than those who have totally isolated or one single vision approach.
Absolutely. And if business leaders can be part of their place and part of its future thinking and strategic development, working alongside their colleagues in the public sector and with education as well, then actually so much more can be achieved. And bringing forward the master plan for Southampton was significant. I mean, 3 billion of investment and nearly 20,000 jobs, and you can see the difference to Southampton today and how it really is on the map as a city, a regional centre.
And it keeps developing, doesn't it, as well?
It keeps developing, it's evolving. But I think more importantly as well is that we have an engagement vehicle now, that the barriers and the obstacles that were there previously are no longer there. There is a channel to communicate between the public and private sector, all the sectors that didn't exist 10, 12 years ago.
Amazing. So what's happened now is you've taken all of these things you've learned, all of this collaborative working, and you've started a new company, Launch International. And what's Launch International?
Well, Launch has been in my DNA for quite a long time. I registered a trademark for Launch a long time ago, and I always thought it could be a great brand for business to business. And I suppose my thing is about being a catalyst for business to connect to business, to do more business, which was very much evident in what we did with Business South and what I did previous to that. And so how can we do that? How can you take that to the next level and do it in new ways? And so I was lucky enough to meet some fantastic people at Business South, and that included some amazingly clever people from the University of Southampton, working with Dame Wendy Hall and Sir Professor Nigel Shadbolt, and they talked about linked data, open data, semantic web, artificial intelligence, all this stuff. And I had no idea what any of these things were, but I realised they were important.
For the future, right?
Digital, for the future, And so I had a few conversations outside work about what next, and how we could take these sort of ideas forward. And so I met some tech guys and really said, so I suppose it was slightly tongue-in-cheek, but it had come up as a result of lots of conversations. So how could we turn Google on its head? They said, what do you mean? How would anyone do? I said, well, that if you search in Google, you need to know what you're searching for to find it. But how do you find things out there that you don't know about? How do you find people or equipment or solutions that you don't know what they're called or where they are? How do you find things? So that was one part of my brief to them. And the other one was, how could we connect business, not only nationally but internationally, to do more business and trade together? Because I found working with that marine industry and the business that I'd done over the years that it wasn't always that easy to find new markets, new business, new growth, new partners. So could we find a digital channel to do that?
Okay. So Launch then is a platform that people can find?
Launch has created a new platform, and it has a find engine, not a search engine.
Oh, a find engine.
And really, I suppose it's a smart, intelligent research tool for business to find grants, to find equipment, facilities, potential contracts, expertise and consultants and research through universities. So to help them drive their innovation and growth and new product development, and to help them scale as a business.
So you're basically giving information to people?
Well, it's really a smart tool that can work with a business to provide intelligent information to take it to its next level.
Okay.
So you wouldn't know always where to find grants and funding. Sometimes you can search and search and search on Google, and when you find information it might be out of date or not for your sector or not for your region, or you don't meet the criteria and so on. So equally, how do you find the national contracts? They're on great big government databases, but you'd have to do quite a bit of searching to find things. It can be a bit of a minefield. But also, going back to the days of the marine cluster and since then, how do you find equipment and facilities and high-tech bits of kit that can help you produce something new or help you innovate further? And you know, a lot of this equipment is in universities right across the country, and it's really under businesses' noses, but they don't know it's there.
Okay.
And yet the universities want to engage more with businesses to do more research.
There's a bit of a divide there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a little bit of a barrier, and I think it's just because there's a lack of awareness and a lack of knowledge that actually there is all this opportunity around the higher education sector that could support business. And there's a lot of grants and contracts which businesses could apply for, which could help them grow and innovate. And so the Find engine that we have in launch is a new platform that companies that want to innovate and grow can subscribe to, or larger organisations that have lots of members, clients and networks in that sort of innovation type space could work with us to drive growth. So,
okay, being a bit sick, how does it work? I sign up, and what happens? I have like a profile?
You can log in, you log in, and basically you become part of the launch, I suppose, community. And the Find engine will get to know you more the more you use it against your profile.
Okay.
And so that it brings together information from around your company's house data and your website and open source data, and it brings it together in parallel, simultaneously, in real time, to give you information that you didn't know was out there about your business.
So I basically log in, I create my profile, and then basically up pops loads of stuff that I didn't even know existed.
Exactly. It is super clever. It's super clever.
How do I get one of these accounts, right?
Well, you can look at launchinternational.co.uk and you can subscribe, or just talk to us about what you want.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how do you, obviously not being very techie yourself, how do you run a business like Launch International?
Exactly. I think that's right. I'm not the technical one. I think the leadership around this is having the vision and the ideas, seeing where this could go, seeing how far you can take it, and the art of the possible, and actually then making it happen. And making it happen is by bringing together the right connections and bringing the team together, so that they're buying into the vision as much as me, and that we can all go on this journey together and we can all benefit from it together.
Well, you're a much bigger picture thinker, aren't you? So actually it's actually about having that bravery to see the vision and then carry it through.
For me, there's three key areas there. It's around the connections, the communication and the collaboration, and they all actually go together, because by building a network of connections with great communication, you can collaborate more for greater success and greater outcomes.
Networking is really, really key for that as well, isn't it? And building advocates as well in business is essential to drive things forward.
And part of my philosophy is that every conversation leads to an opportunity.
Oh, I love it. Well, this is kind of why I'm doing this channel, actually.
That's a good idea.
Because people can talk about things and express things, and I'm sharing the conversations rather than just keeping them to myself. So, okay, so connection then, and then communication. How does that work for collaboration? And
well, aren't we lucky to live in this digital age where we can communicate through so many means now? And it is really important to still have the face-to-face communication and those relationships and those meetings, but we're also able to take that so much further now with all the different channels we've got around, you know, LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and other ways to communicate, as well as the traditional ways.
And in terms of collaboration then, how, in your experience, what's the best way that people can collaborate? Is there specific sectors that work well together, or do they have to have a shared objective, or what would you say?
Well, I think there's lots of opportunities out there to grow market share, do more business. And if we can team up with like-minded organisations and individuals where we can share our skills and talents in a collective way to go for more projects, contracts, opportunities, joint ventures. And let's face it, we're going to need to do that more and more. With Brexit and everything that we're facing now, we need to look at the opportunities nationally and internationally and see who we can partner with to bring forward more business opportunities.
Well, there's also definitely an argument in here for SMEs or startups who say, I specialise in marketing and someone specialises in sales and someone specialises in finance, and actually we create a hub together.
Absolutely.
And pitch for work together. As long as we trust each other and we know that each partner will deliver, it's actually a really good model for working and winning those bigger contracts, because on my own I can't do it all, and it would be ridiculous for me to pitch for a massive contract, but together 100%.
I think people want to work with people they trust and can rely on, that are going to do a great job on time and with the right quality and budget. And if you can find those trusted connections and partners through collaborating, then that's got to be a great team to go forward, hasn't it?
So we've done beers, boats and business, and we've obviously got launch. So what are you working on at the moment?
Well, we're continuing to develop the platform and bring the data together and hopefully go from strength to strength there. But I still am passionate about economy and how it supports social well-being and drives growth in this country. And I want to see some really positive stuff happen. It's been quite a lot of negativity, isn't it, at the moment?
Especially with like Brexit and things like that.
I suppose so, and I suppose whatever side of the political divide you're on, we're going to need some positive outcomes. So what I really am aiming to do now is to set up a campaign, launch2020.biz, so that everyone can launch their projects, services and products around creative, digital and tech services and product development in 2020, that we could have an online campaign for that year that helps put the UK on the map for more business, more growth and awareness for international investment and partnerships and projects. And of course that will help drive and develop the launch community so that more business can find more connections to do more business.
Absolutely.
So it does all link. It does all link together. But I think in business, I want to work with people I like on something that will make a difference and has a purpose.
Amazing. I love it. Okay, so if you had one quote, something that you've always kind of found that inspires you in business, what would it be?
Well, I suppose life's not a dress rehearsal, is it? You just have to get on and go for it.
Yeah, and I think that's very true, because you just like do it. Amazing.
See the opportunities and go for it, but surround yourself with the people that can make it happen.
Yes, that's very key, isn't it? If you've got the vision, you need people to drive it and do it. Amazing. Okay, so where can people find out more about you or about Launch?
Okay, launchinternational.co.uk or on LinkedIn. And be glad to talk to you.
Sally Thompson on LinkedIn and then launchinternational.co.uk. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here today.
And thank you, Annelies, and it's great to work with you actually, and I must just say that you are a total inspiration yourself, and good luck with everything you do.
Oh, thank you, darling. Amazing.